Tonight I'm looking at Still Got the Blues by Gary Moore. I'm going to go through the chords and then try a quick playthrough of the first verse. I'll start by trying the intro riff that he does. I'm not going to be able to do it as well as he does, but I'll at least tell you where he plays it at according to the sheet music, which I got from musicnotes.com, by the way, if you want to try and learn it. They have both the tab and the chords if you're interested. So for the intro, we're going to start on, and by the way, I'm going to call these starting at the top string. This is E, A, D, G, B, E. And an easy way to remember that is the phrase, Elvis ate donuts, goodbye Elvis. So on the 14th fret, on the third string from the bottom, which is the G string, we're going to start there. He then goes to the 15th fret on the string right below that, the B string, and then he goes to the 17th fret on that same string. And then he bends it, it says half a note, or half an octave, I should say. And then it shows him doing it a full again on that same location. And then back to 15. So it sounds like that. He then goes on the same B string, second string from the bottom. He goes down to 13th fret and plays there, and then plays 15 again. And then he plays 15 twice and bends it the second time, but he mutes it halfway through the bend. And then he does a full bend at that same location. And then back to 13. And then he goes down to 10, still on the B string, second string from the bottom. And he plays 10, 12, 13, and he plays them rapidly. So, and then again, he does a quick bend there at 13, but he stops it halfway through. Oh, I forgot to stop it, sorry. And then he does a full bend there, and he goes back to 12. And he goes 10 on that same string, and then he ends it at 12 on the string right above us, the G string. And then he kind of lets it go down. There's more to it than that, and the videos I've seen, he actually kind of ad-libs it. So be sure and look at some of his live recordings on YouTube. There's one or two very good ones. But that gives you kind of an idea of how he does it. And then oh, I messed up there and then now. Well, that's close. I made a mistake or two, but hopefully that gives you the idea. I'll now look at the chords. Sorry if I'm fumbling a little bit. I'm trying a different setup. I tried making this video last night and I went through it, and at the end of it, I had no audio. So I'm using a different tool this time and a different setup. So sorry if I fumble a little bit. I'm getting used to it. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the chords. I'll start with the first one, D minor 7. It's going to be on the first fret. We're going to bar the bottom two strings with our index finger. And then we're going to go up to the third string from the bottom, which we said is the G string. And we're going to use our second finger there. And we're going to play everything starting at the open D string right above there. Okay, that's D minor 7. The next chord is D minor 7 / G. The /G tells us we're changing the root. So we keep everything we currently have, and you can do one of two things. You can either use your ring finger to go up to the top E string on the third fret and play the G bass root note there, or you can use your thumb, whichever you feel better with. I'm going to try my ring finger, and we're going to play everything. And that's how to get from D minor 7 to D minor 7/G. The next chord is C major 7. An easy way to remember C major 7 is start with a standard C chord, which if you're new to guitar, it would be first fret, second string from the bottom, the B string, third fret, second string from the top, the A string. Remember Elvis ate donuts, goodbye Elvis. And then on the second fret, third string from the top, or the D string, and then we play everything except the top string. That's a C. To turn that into a C major, all you have to do is lift up your index finger and play exactly the same strings. That's C major 7. The next chord's F major 7. This is an easy one to remember. Start on the first fret, second string from the bottom, the B string. Second fret, one string above that, the G string. Third fret, one string above that, the D string. That gives us the F that we're going to use as the root of the chord. Leave out the top two strings. That's F major 7. The 7 refers to the 7th note in the scale. This song is written in D, so 7 for the D scale. 1 would be D, and then at the other end, 8 would be D. So 7's one back from that, which should be C, which tells you what they've added. They then have a chord B minor 7 flat 5. B minor 7 flat 5. To play that, we're going to go to the second. We're going to go to the second fret. I actually like to do it in the opposite direction, so I'll go backwards. I'm going to go up to the third fret, and using my pinky and my ring finger, I'm going to press down on the next to the bottom string, the B string, and the third from the top string, the D string. And then on the second fret, I'm going to use my index finger and my second finger to press down the next to the top string, the A string, and the fourth from the top string, the G string, and I'm going to play everything except the top string. And that's B minor 7 flat 5. We'll then play E7. That's just going to be, if you start with your standard E, which would be your second and third finger on the second fret, second and third strings from the top, or the A and D strings, and then your index finger on the first fret, one string below there, the G string. That's a standard E. To get from a standard E to an E7, just pick up your ring finger and play the same notes. The next chord, A minor, is a pretty standard chord, so I'll just go straight to it. On the second fret, I'll start at the first. So on the first fret, I'm going to use my index finger on the next to the bottom string, the B string. On the second fret, the two strings right above that, both on the second fret, I'm going to use my ring finger and second finger in that order on the G string and D string in that order, and I'm going to play everything including the open A string, which gives us the bass for that root, gives us the root for that chord. Okay. Let's see what comes next. I'm just looking to see what other chords are on this page. So we just saw A minor. We just did A minor. Another one that shows up on the first page is A minor / B. And we just talked about what that means. It means we've changed the root to B. And the way we're going to do that is, this is the A string. If we press down on the second fret, it turns it into B. So I'm going to take those two fingers I'm currently using, I'm going to shift them up so I can grab that B, and then I'm going to put my pinky on the one that I just moved off of so I keep it pressed down. And that turns A minor into A minor slash B. They also show A minor slash C. If we go back to our A minor, same idea. The slash C means we're adding a root of C to the chord. And all you have to do is second string from the top, the A string, use your pinky to press down on the third fret. And that turns an A minor into an A minor slash C. I think that's all of the chords on the first page. We covered the E standard earlier, and it does show up later on the first page, but I've already covered that one, so I'll skip going over that since I've already kind of covered it. Let's see, I'll look at the second page. Okay. Let's see, we've done D minor, we've done D minor slash G, we've done C major 7, F major 7, we've done A minor 7, flat 5. They have E suspended, so we saw the standard E. To get from E to E suspended just is another kind of another change you can make to a chord. So all you need to do is use your pinky to press down on the second fret on the G string instead of using your index finger on the first fret, and that turns the E into an E suspended. Another new one that shows up is E minor. So we've seen the standard E. To turn that into E minor, just pick up your index finger. That's an E minor. That's how you can turn an E into an E minor. Okay, they have one new one here called D9. 9 might be a little confusing if you're new, because I just said a moment ago a scale goes from 1 to 8. Well, 9 is what you think it might be. You're going 1 above 8. So if this is a D scale, if it's written in D, then 9 would be 1 above D, which is E. And the way they're showing playing it is go up to the 4th fret, put your index finger on the 4th fret, 3rd string from the top, the D string. I'm going to use my second finger on the 5th fret, 2nd string from the top, the A string. I'm going to use my ring and pinky on the 2nd and 3rd strings from the bottom, the G and B strings. And I'm going to play everything except the top string. And that gives me D9. They then show F9. F9, they have us going back down to the 1st fret. Now a standard F, you would bar this 1st fret using your index finger starting at the top. So we're going to do that. But to make it an F9, we're going to play it this way. On the 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom, the G string, use your 2nd finger. Use your ring finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string from the top, the A string, and then use your pinky also on the 3rd fret, the very bottom string, the E string, and then play that. That's F9. They then show E7 sharp 9, which looks a lot like one that we just saw, but it's a little different. We're going to go up to the 6th fret instead of the 4th fret. We're going to go up to the 6th fret this time. It's going to be on the 3rd string from the top. Put your index finger, the D string. Put your 2nd finger on the 7th fret right above that, 2nd string from the top, the A string. This time, instead of putting your pinky and ring fingers also on that fret, you're going to put your ring finger on that same 7th fret, 3rd string from the bottom, the G string. But we're going to put our pinky 1 fret higher on the 8th fret, 2nd string from the bottom, and we're going to play everything including the open E string. Okay, so that's all of the chords on that page. Let me see if any new ones show up on the next page. Okay, I'm only going to try and play through the first verse, but I will go through the chords that show up in this bridge of the song here, in case you want to try and learn the whole song. So on this third page where they start to go through the bridge of the song, they have B minor 7. So on the second fret, press down with your index finger, leaving out the top string. On the third fret, second string from the bottom, the B string, press down with your second finger. That's on the third fret. And then on the fourth fret, third string from the top, the D string, press down and leave out the top string and strum down. Now they show B minor 7 / E. By now we know what the /E means. It means we're adding the root of E to the chord. And for this particular chord, that's easy. We have an open E string right above us, and all we have to do is play that as is and include that top string this time. Okay? Let's see. We've seen F major 7. They have E minor 7. We saw E minor. To turn E minor into E minor 7, all we're going to do is take our pinky on the third fret, second string from the bottom, or your ring finger. I have smaller hands, so I'll use my pinky, and include that. Press down on the third fret, second string from the bottom, the B string. And it gives it a higher pitch sound. So this is E minor. This is E minor 7. Okay? They then have something very similar to the D9 we saw. They have D minor 9. The shape is very similar, but they show it. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm looking at it correct. My eyes aren't that great. They show us playing it on the third fret. Okay. I think that's correct. Double check me on that, but I think that's showing third fret, D minor 9. So let's see if it sounds right. We'll know when we play it. Third fret, third string from the top, the D string with your index finger. Skip the fourth fret. It's going to be hard because you got to stretch your hand. On the fifth fret, reach up with your second finger, grab that second from the top string, and then use your pinky and ring finger on the G and A strings on the fifth fret and leave out the top string. Yeah, that sounds right. That should be right. D minor 9. If you're ever curious if you got one right, just play it. And if it sounds weird, you probably have something off. But that's all of the new chords there. They have A minor showing up again, but we've already seen that. The next page is the final page, and all of the chords there we've covered pretty much. I don't see anything new jumping out at me. And so, yeah, these are the chords you would need to know if you want to try and learn this song. And then I went through the intro. He does a real long ad-lib guitar solo and outro. I'll let you watch his videos. I'm not even going to try and do those. I've just now started looking at this, and I would need some time to look at that to even try it. So I'll do a quick playthrough of the first verse. Oh, excuse me. I almost forgot an important point. This sheet music is in 6/8 timing. And what that means is a normal sheet music would be in 4/4 timing. The timing of this song is a little different. And the reason they call it 6/8 instead of like 3/4 is the way the notes get tied together in certain parts of the song. They had to use two sections, 4 + 4, 8, to get the full 6 beats in. So if you do get the sheet music and wonder why it says 6/8, that's what that's referring to. It's the timing. Sorry about that. Now I'll try a quick playthrough. It used to be so easy to give my heart away, but I found out the hard way there's a price to pay. I found out that love was no friend of mine. I should have known time after time. So long, it was so long ago. Still got the blues for you. That's the first verse, and then they go into the second one. I hope that's helpful if you want to try and learn this song. Good luck and have fun with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, and bye.